Atlanta Motor Speedway and three wide finishes seem to go hand in hand nowadays. And of course, when it was all said and done, when the caution flag came out on the overtime finish, Christopher Bell is the winner of the And Better Health 400. Christopher, walk me through that last lap. How was that from your perspective, battling against Kyle Larson and Carson Hocevar?
Yeah, it's ironic that it seems like a lot of races come down to myself and Kyle, but just replaying that last green white checkered, I was in the exact position you dream of whenever you get into the end of those super speedway races, being in the front two rows. That's where you need to be to have a shot at the win. I knew that it was going to depend on how well I could push Kyle and if I could get him clear and ultimately give me a shot at fighting him versus fighting the inside rows. So that worked out exactly how I planned, and Kyle got clear down the back straightaway. He got down and opened up the outside lane for me. I got a big push by Ricky Stenhouse coming off turn 4, got to the outside of Kyle, and then it was going to be a drag race for sure, coming to the line between the three of us. Hocevar squeaked into the middle, getting into 3. I remember seeing in my mirror the tire smoke down the back straightaway and just hoping that I was going to be the car nosed out front whenever they decided to hit the yellow flag button. So yeah, it's tough. I don't envy NASCAR's position, with the yellow flag stuff. We just came off of the Daytona 500 where the front cars wrecked and everybody had to race through the wreck. So there was a lot of discussion about that. And they told all of us going into it that if that situation came up again, they would throw the yellow. And fortunately, I was the guy out front.
And during those moments, during those three wide finishes, I think those are finishes that fans dream of seeing, especially when they're at the track. Did you have a chance to kind of be a fan in the moment when you were in the car celebrating?
Not really. I was just super, I don't know. I saw the yellow flag on the fence, and I was paying attention to the guys beside me, and I felt like I had the lead whenever the yellow flag on the fence came on. But Stevie, my spotter, came on and said that the finish is under review. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? How is this going to work? So I was more nervous and just not understanding what was going on. I remember rolling up on the cool down lap. I didn't want to pass pit road entry if I didn't win. And I wasn't going to start my celebration until they told me it was official. And I remember seeing the big screen. They were showing my car on the big screen. I'm like, did I win? Did I not win? And then Stevie finally comes on and said, it's official, you won. So yeah, it was a kind of a weird deal, kind of weird emotions of not knowing if you won the race or not. Normally it's pretty cut and dry who wins and who loses. But yeah, it was, a win's a win, and it's refreshing to be competitive on a super speedway because that's been a struggle point for me throughout my career.
What's helped you kind of be more competitive at these tracks?
I think a lot of it is having Eric Almirola here at Joe Gibbs Racing. He's been a super successful super speedway racer in his career, and he's coming out of the Ford camp at Stewart-Haas Racing as well, where they've been successful as a team. So he's brought a lot to the table as far as driving strategy and even car performance stuff that's helped us and helped me, mentally prepare better for these races. I don't like how much luck is involved in this style of racing, and how all the wrecks take out so many guys, and I've been caught up in so many wrecks. But I think Eric being involved in our team has definitely turned it around.
Now, I know there's a lot of luck involved in these races, but you did say that this is some of the most fun you've had racing at a super speedway. So what makes Atlanta so fun to race at?
Yeah, it's definitely different than Daytona and Talladega, just from the fact that it seems like handling matters a little bit more than it does at those two places. And the track, although it's narrow, the lanes are rarely clogged up. So you can normally find a hole to take and take your run and try and advance your position. And with that being said, with the cars being spaced out a little bit more, it seems like if your car's handling well and you're driving well, you can make your way to the front. And we saw that at Atlanta. I qualified bad. Ross Chastain qualified bad. Even Ryan Blaney spun out with late in the third stage and still made it back up there. So that's ultimately what you want. You want to be able to control your own destiny, and if you do your job, get up front. And for whatever reason, Atlanta's been able to lend itself towards that.
And it's crazy to think that last time Jacobs Racing was in victory lane was middle of last season, but the narrative's over. You guys are back in victory lane, but what did it take to get back in victory lane? What during the off season did you guys really push for to be competitive at the start of the year?
Yeah, well, it's been a lot longer than we wanted it to be and probably should have been. I go back to, so our last win was Loudon. It was Loudon in June, but there were so many races that just from the 20 car got away that coulda, shoulda, woulda been wins. And yeah, so I'm happy that we ended that so early in the season, and honestly a lot quicker than what I thought I would win. You know, the Speedway stuff they're not races that I have penciled as potential wins. And so we won early on in the season. We ended that drought of winless streaks, and I'm excited about building on that. And hopefully, you know, we go to Coda next, and we have Vegas, Phoenix, Homestead, Martinsville, Darlington, which are all racetracks that I do have circled as potential wins. So I'm looking forward to this.